Are we ready to do this?
Let's hit it.
What is up, guys? Welcome to Punts and Pints, the poker podcast. My name is Paul Punts. With me is the amazing Simon Stacks. And if you're new here, we are two poker players who are starting this podcast to chat poker, talk about the daily grind, and of course, life around it. Simon, welcome.
What's up, man? Thank you for. I guess you're not having me anymore, are you? Well, you're technically
No,
no. But yeah, welcome, guys. We are very excited to have this podcast. The thing that you forgot to actually mention is that I don't know if you mentioned, but it's all about the beers, right?
oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, you were like,
Well,
we're chatting about poker and chatting about life, but it's punts and
we're
pints. It's about the
right.
beers. Come on.
Yeah. It's tough for me because it's like 12 a.m. on a Saturday and I'm usually not drinking at this time of day, but for you guys, of course, I'll make the big exception.
Guys, I'll let you in on a little secret because of the way that the timings work. Basically, I always end up getting to film these episodes at night. So I'm always like, Saturday night, good time for me. And Paul, like, is like, fuck, I just woke up like 2 hours ago. Now I have to, he literally just finished his coffee. Like, I'm pretty sure he has a coffee on his table right now. But for you guys,
Don't tell them. Don't tell them.
he's got the beers out as well. But no, yeah, very excited for episode 3. There's been a massive pause in between episode 2 and 3 just because we've had so much life shit going on. But we are very keen to try and keep up with some more episodes soon.
Yeah, we should definitely try to stick to like a 2 week schedule from now on, but Simon is a busy man.
Yeah, got that full time work grind, and yeah, trying to make content and play poker on the side is whew, it's a tough
It's
life.
crazy how you do it. It's crazy how you do it, but all
Someone's
for
got
the
to do
love
it.
of the game, right?
All for the love of the game. Yeah. Some of the hands that I'll show you later will show you how much I love this game.
Excited for that. So, yeah, let's cut to the chase. Let's start the beers. You want to go first?
Absolutely. And it's this is gonna make it even worse after I've just told everyone that I get to have the drinks at nighttime and you have to start early in the morning. And I might get in big trouble in the comments here, but I've actually got would you believe it? Oh god. Yeah, there it is. The camera should be showing you there, guys. I have got an alcohol-free pale ale this time, which yeah might be considered blasphemous.
It
In
looks crisp.
it looks so crisp though. Oh my god, we need to be sponsored by these guys because that is a beautiful shot. Damn, that looks good. Um, but yeah, I've got the Bridge Road Brewers free time, and I don't know if you guys have much alcohol-free beers in Germany, but like the market is actually kind of starting to blow up here. Like it's becoming really really popular. As a lot of people are choosing to either drink less or slow down on their drinking. So I've been on a
Yeah.
bit of a mission to find the best tasting alcohol-free beer.
Yeah, I think we have Gen Z to thank for that because they are all these straight edge guys who are going to the gym and eating healthy, and now the alcohol, like we have a tons of alcohol gins and alcohol free wines, and of course the beers. So I'm a big fan, actually. I do enjoy them myself. Yeah.
It's like 20% or something like that of Gen Z don't actually drink alcohol, I think. And it might even be bigger than that, which is mind blowing to me. And especially, I mean, I'm sure Germany's the same, but Australia has a massive drinking culture. We love a beer. So
A
um
massive drinking problem.
yeah, I mean that's one way of putting it. I feel like Germans are like just responsible Australians in many ways. 'Cause you go to Germany and I feel like people, I don't know, from my experience when I went there a couple of times, people like drink alcohol, but they're like not idiots. Whereas in Australia, people just drink until they die, basically.
Can you drink openly on the streets in Australia?
No, not legally. But people
No.
do it, and there's certain areas where, people. I think as long as you're not causing too much of a scene, it's okay. But people aren't just walking through the middle of the city like in Germany and just like having a casual brew.
Yeah. I always notice that when I'm like in places where it's not legal to drink in public. So when I went to university in Northern Ireland, I didn't know that it was not allowed to drink on the streets. And I was just like one day walking through the streets with a beer in my hand. I got stopped by the cops, by the copas,
And so
and
I
they were
am
like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm like, "What? I'm just having a beer."
just a German bloke trying to have a beer. Like, let a
Yeah,
man, let a
like
man drink.
exactly, exactly. So I'm always confused because, of course, we have in Germany like this huge culture around just sitting in parks and drinking beer, or like it's mind-boggling to me that you are not allowed to drink in the streets.
Okay, well, anyways, as I said, this is Bridge Road Brewers. It's called the Free Time. It's alcohol free, pale ale. So let's get this bad boy cracked, and see what it's like.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Oh, damn. You know what? I've got to say, this is a bloody good alcohol free beer. Like, I don't know if you remember the first time like I ever tried an alcohol free beer. It tasted like actual piss. It was disgusting. Not that I know what piss tastes like. Just saying, it's what I imagine piss
Yeah.
to taste like. It tasted like water, but obviously they've now figured out a way to get the flavors in. Like this is a pale ale, and this like if you poured this at a bar in a schooner glass, or I don't know if you know what a schooner glass is, but it's like a standard size of
Yeah.
glass. If you poured this out of a tap at a bar and you served this to me, and I had like four of them, the only dead giveaway would be that I wouldn't be feeling drunk. But it tastes, it it smells. Yeah, this is a beer as far as I'm concerned. This is actually really delicious. So
Right. So we'll see if the placebo effect kicks in.
I know, mate.
And
What if
you're
I
just gonna be
gonna be stumbling my words after half an alcohol-free beer? It's gonna be interesting. So, do I need to give it a hand rating, or do you want to talk through your beer?
let me do mine first, and then we'll do some hands for the beers as we usually do. So I'm actually I found a responsible choice of beer for today. It's the Ratsherren Alster. I have no idea if you know what an Alster is. It's also called Radler in Germany.
Oh,
So
yeah, we
do you know what that is?
yeah, mate. In Aussie, we just call that a radler.
Ah, look at
But
this.
it's very similar. But it's basic. Like my understanding is that I don't know if there's a direct translation, but it's basically like a beer with like a fruity twist, right? Is that right?
Yeah, it's actually like if you order it at a bar, they're just gonna pour lemonade into your beer. So it's like a
Oh,
light alternative. So you can always order a beer and then make it an Alster or a Radler by just pouring some lemonade in it. So this is
see,
by a Hamburg brewery. Pretty good one. And it's a light beer, but with a lemonade. So it has this like lemony flavor, really light, perfect for 12 a.m. on a Saturday to get the
def
day started.
high session ability.
Definitely,
Yeah, we
definitely.
call that I think that's called a shandy in Australia. I'm not sure, but
A
it's
shandy.
yeah, that's
Look at
like.
this. It's like learning vocabulary with Simon Stacks.
Well, you just said a bunch of German words, and I had no idea what you just said for like 5 minutes. You were like Radler, saying all these words. So maybe we need to do like a bit of a language exchange.
Maybe, maybe. So yeah, it depends on where you are in Germany. If you're in the north, it's called Alster. Alster is actually a lake in Hamburg. And Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
No,
Like
but
I'm
how do you
originally
know
from
that?
I'm originally from the south. So I know it as a radla because that's like it's a person who's on a bicycle. And usually people when they do a bike tour and they need like a refreshment and also want to stock up on electrolytes, they would usually have a beer, but beers are too hard on the stomach, so they usually drink a radler. That's why it's called a radler for bike tours.
Well, hell yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Jeez.
but in the north they named it after a lake. So
I think we're gonna have to add like a history tag to this podcast because I feel like people are like gonna get some serious good knowledge out of this now. It's not just
yeah, guys,
beers
if
and
you want to know
poker.
more about beer culture, just ask. Just ask.
So good. I mean, probably the best people to start a podcast to include beers is a German and an Aussie. It makes perfect sense.
It does. It does.
So I guess for anyone who hasn't caught the first two episodes, obviously go back and watch them. Obviously, but if you haven't, one of the things that we like to do is we like to drink our beers and then we like to associate our beers with a poker starting hand, and then that poker starting hand will serve as the challenge hand that we have to go all in with. But we'll get to that segment later. But for now, Paul, give us a bit of an indication what your Radler is for a starting hand.
So since it's not like a full-fledged beer, I cannot give it a premium holding, right? It's like not aces, it's not queens or something. Um, it is pretty good though, and it's also like because you drink it usually in the beginning of an evening, you wouldn't really be associating it with like a punty hand, so you're still playing solid here. So I would say it's something like pocket nines, pocket nines. Solid
Ooh.
hand, usually like easily playable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Nothing too crazy. Easy to fold versus some big bets and some overcards, but can also
exactly.
turn out really good. It's so funny
Yeah.
because I think my beer was kind of going down a very similar route, and initially my thinking was like I was like, well, it's actually kind of like aces, isn't it? Because you're drinking beer, you're getting all the flavor, but you're not like having to deal with all the bad side of being drunk. So it's just like the
Yeah.
ultimate kind of hand. But then I was like, hold on a second.
But it's fake aces, right?
It's
So it
fake
has to be
aces.
like an ace four. Ace four. When you peel the cards in a live game and you look at the ace and then you look at the four and you think, yeah, we have pocket rockets, and then it's like, oh no, fuck it.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Or I guess it could be fours as well, because then it's
Yeah.
like the true fake aces. Well, I mean, I think that's actually better than where I was going because my thinking was actually going to go. It's almost like a good trap hand because you're drinking beers with all your mates. Everyone's like getting drunk except you're drinking the
Mm.
alcohol free ones. So they're getting steadily more drunk and you're just on your A game. So while everyone else is tripping out, you're gonna trap them. So it's kind of like I don't know, like a low suited connector. But I actually like your description way better. So I'm gonna steal that from you. And
Mm.
um, I think Ace Four is too easy for me to play with in the challenge. So I'm actually going to go with pocket fours. I'm going to go fake,
Pocket fours.
the full fake aces, as we'll call them. So we're going to go pocket fours because I feel like I'm gonna be punting off a stack with fours next week, which is
You
good for
should
fun.
be. You should be. It's funny that you mentioned it because whenever I'm actually playing live here in Hamburg in a casino, like I usually play NL 200 here in the casino, and I always order alcohol free beer in a glass.
You sneaky
So
motherfucker.
I always do that. Yeah. And then I'll have a couple, and then people just assume that I'm drinking beer like for 5 hours straight,
Oh
but I'm
my
sober.
god. What's the name of the
Yeah.
casino that you go to?
It's super boring. It's just named after the place it's at, so it's Casino Schenefeld.
Okay, so just a
Yeah.
shout out for anyone playing at Casino Schienefeld. Beware of the guy drinking beers in a glass because he could be trapping you. He's a proper shark. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would be careful of that. All right, so should we talk a little bit about how our weeks went? Should we have a little bit of a heat check?
Yes, please. Let's do the heat check. You want to go first?
Oh, I did until I played literally this afternoon. So, looking at my results, I played 6,300 hands this week, which is probably a little bit down from what I have been playing the last couple of weeks. But I was out a couple of nights this week. So unfortunately, I didn't um, play as much as I would have liked. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and as you can see, within 500 hands of the start of the week, we're already down $80. So that was not a good start to the
Ouch.
week. I will say with a caveat of I'm currently in the phase of my bankroll challenge where I am uh, playing 10 and L but taking some shots at 25. So the graph is probably a little bit skewed in that there's going to be chunks where it just drops up or down, jumps up or down pretty quickly, and that's just because of the jump in stakes. So
Yeah.
started off really badly, and then I just went full hardcore grind mode. Man, I was just like clicking buttons, staying focused, and yeah, basically just went on like a super solid run, playing super well. It went really really well, and then yeah, just had a big session today playing Russian Cash Fridays, and as I'm sure you can attest to, those are some swingy sessions. People just start going mad, and because I got the streamer tag, I did not realize that people would start just calling me down so much lighter, especially moving to a new stake. So yeah, not gonna lie, punted off a couple of stacks today, which very much hurt me. And then yeah, ran kind of uh, poorly at the end of the day. So after
But you
the
did play off stream the last session.
I did play off stream the last session.
Yeah.
It's funny because I actually played better on stream. And I kind of do sometimes play better on stream because I'm just so focused on
Mm.
what's happening. Anyways, after all those hands, we basically broke even for the week. I mean, we were below EV, but we essentially broke even. So it's whatever. Like, disappointing that we were up so much, but we'll take a break even week. How did
Nice.
you go?
Nice. I'm actually the opposite. So I think this has been the first week in my life where I actually ran above EV for more than like 2,000 hands.
The
So I
first week
played
of your life?
7,000. Yeah, I think so. Really, like I have never run above EV for more than 2,000 hands ever. Think never happened. So we played 7,200 something hands. And as you can see in the graph, I am up 250 something dollars, and I'm basically up 200 in EV above EV, which is insane. But I think it also stems from the reason I started playing PLO, and Pot Limit Omaha is such a crazy game that like stacks are flying left and right. You have to put the money in with like 60, 50% equity all of the time.
Oh my
So
god.
you're gonna win a couple of flips and then you're gonna just be above EV a lot.
Yeah, wow.
So I think that's the reason for it.
Out of the 7K hands, how much of that is PLO and how much is Hold'em?
I think half and half. Yeah. So I think it's like it's probably like 4,000 hands PLO. Yeah.
Holy hell. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you still enjoying it? Do you feel like you're getting better
Yeah.
or?
Yeah, so yeah, I started studying it. Like the first couple of sessions, I was just jumping in the pool and see how it goes, kind of way without even like studying preflop charts or anything. But now I've started to look at preflop more and also got some coaching and yeah,
Oh, you did.
so yeah, so I'm gonna try and include that as like it's not gonna be my main game. I love No Limit Hold'em too much to switch completely, but I'll definitely want to mix it in and get good at PLO. At least 4 card PLO. Like people on streams always tell me to start playing 5 card or 6 card PLO, but I'm already so confused watching the action with 4 cards, so I'm not gonna be
Dude,
playing 5 card or 6 card PLO anytime soon.
that would
Yeah.
I reckon PLO would just be the most infuriating game because you just like never have the nuts. Like
Nope.
even when you have the nuts, you don't have the nuts.
Yeah, yeah. Like
It's
I know in the session I streamed this week on PLO, I got the money in with the nuts on the turn every single time and still lost.
oh my god, yeah. I couldn't handle that emotionally.
Yeah.
That would
Because
be too much.
the fact I had like the nuts straight on the turn and the money went in and the other guy still had 40% equity because he did have 2 pair and the nut flush draw.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, so PLO is insane. Like I now understand how important it is to have like backdoor draws and redraws to other hands. So just
Yeah,
having the nuts on the flop, for example, is
not
not even
enough.
that great if you don't have the redraw to something.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
yeah. That's just a whole different kettle of fish. Yeah, well,
Yeah, it's insane.
for anyone watching in video land, let us know in the comments what games you guys are playing. I'm interested to see, or what your favorite game is. I'm interested to see what other people are playing. I don't think I'm quite ready to take on PLO yet. I first need to get better at Hold'em, but fuck, maybe that's an option.
Yeah.
Further down the track, if I just one day decide that I want to punt it all off, then yeah, maybe I'll play PLO. But you just going back to something that you said before. So you said that you were doing some coaching on PLO, and that's kind of interesting because I think that's something that we wanted to talk about in this episode. I don't know, maybe we'll give it a name for this section. We're not sure yet. Maybe hot topics or something like that. But we'd really like to bring a topic to have a brief chat around. That's kind of that you guys will find interesting. And this week we thought that coaching could actually be a really interesting uh, topic. And I think we've got some great people to talk about it because, well, I've just started receiving coaching. I've done coaching in the past. I've done online training courses. So I haven't been a coach. I'm not good enough to be a coach, frankly, um, at this stage. But Paul, you tell me about your experience with coaching. So I think you've been a
Yeah,
coach yourself.
so I have, yeah. So in the past year, I have helped, I would say, around 20 guys who I'm currently also, some of them have finished their sessions with me, but some of them are still going. So I have been coaching mainly microstakes players in No Limit Hold'em for the past couple of months. So everything from NL2 to NL25. And yeah, it's been like, I think it's a great experience for me and for them because for me personally, like every time I see someone else play and give my feedback, I also learn something new. Like I learn something about the way people are thinking who are new to poker, who are beginners, and then trying to help them understand how to shift their thinking from playing their specific hand to playing a strategy
Yeah, wow.
is extremely insightful and also helps me to like really build a solid basis for explaining poker. So I think it helps my streams too because I learn how to phrase things in an easy way so they can understand. And what I always tell people is getting like private coaching is super helpful because usually while you're playing, you don't notice the mistakes you're making.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
it sounds weird, but like it's not about the big hands. It's like the small pots where people miss c bets, miss turn barrels, like are playing from hands from positions they shouldn't be playing, are not checking stats. All the small things that are important for a win rate. That only is highlighted through private coaching sessions, I think.
Yeah, very interesting. Because I think, like, firstly, I think, like, so many players, the average player is probably doing, potentially doing no study or very limited study. And then the other kind of thing, and we can get into a little bit more, but is the type of study that people are doing, kind of like active versus passive studying. And I think what a lot of people do is they'll tag like three big pots, or they'll look at the biggest pots they played, and they'll just go like oh, that was a cooler, that's fine,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
oh yeah, got it in with the best, or like oh yeah, he just flopped a set or whatever, like nothing I could have done there. And then that's like kind of the extent that they go to. But as you say, like I think what's almost more important is like, can you find those like fundamental leaks um
yeah,
that are causing bigger win rate losses. And just a side anecdote, because I've actually kind of gone back to doing some more coaching at as in being coached, but yeah, getting some more coaching at the moment. And my coach kind of has like gone back to like really simple basics, like pre-flop sizings, flop sizings,
yeah,
um, choosing like the right boards to bet and not bet, and like just very seemingly simple things like that. I'm like a little bit, I'm feeling a little bit like I already know this, don't want to do this, don't want to do this. But even filtering for these like small leaks over like my big samples this year, you just see like hand after hand after hand, and then you go into like, for example, just looking at the pre-flop, like by folding like certain hands that you think are like on the edge, um,
mm-hmm.
like even just the true EV loss of folding those hands and like not opening like the right ranges is like just adds up, uh, continually. And then if you include the fact that you've got, potentially have a skill edge, the EV loss is the true EV loss is probably even larger than that. So yeah, I think coaching is definitely something for finding those more holistic,
Yeah,
or those small
yeah.
leaks.
Yeah. I feel also the problem like beginners always have is they are trying to use a pre-flop strategy where it's like it mandates solid post-flop skills. So people get into pots with hands where they run into trouble on the flop or the turn. So beginners would often be better off just folding those in the first place and not getting in those spots.
Mm,
But just like, yeah, just sticking to a solid fundamental pre-flop strategy, and then um, basically like that's always eye-opening, but I always tell it in the first coaching session I do, that people have to decide whenever they bet or check, are they betting for value or are they bluffing? Because at the end of the day, you're not doing anything else but either bluffing or betting for value. So for every decision you make, you have to decide, is this value or is this a bluff? And
mm.
then if it's neither, you're checking. And that's actually like super helpful to the beginners.
Yeah.
And it also like helps me. I do the same process, but now I have it like kind of internalized, so I don't have to ask it actively.
Subconscious. Yeah.
Yeah. So I usually know what type of range is for value, what type of range is as a bluff, etc.
Yeah,
But
super
yeah,
interesting.
keep it
I
simple. Keep it simple, stupid. It's like in school, you know?
going yeah, and think going back to like reviewing those big pot loss hands, like often if you look at those hands a little bit more closely than just seeing the result of like, oh, I got coolered, whatever. The number of times that I went back and reviewed those hands and actually went back streets and got and said, oh, like um I my three bet sizing like wasn't large enough there, or shouldn't have even opened that hand, or like shouldn't be three
Yeah.
betting that hand. Like it's so funny how those small mistakes on earlier streets can end up costing you a shitload of money on later streets.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's the whole theory of reverse implied odds, right?
mm,
That's it sounds fancy, but at the end of the day, that's what it is. So you get into trouble in later streets by playing poorly pre-flop.
against ranges that can be dominated by.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then let's just quickly talk about, because I'm sure that we've both done our fair share of like online courses and training sites, training videos, and that kind of thing. Talk to me about what you think the difference is between those and getting coaching.
So I've done a ton of courses and I'm still doing them. I think they're really helpful, but you have to do them right. Like just watching them doesn't really help. Like even if you're watching videos or streams of poker players, if you just watch and like soak in the information that you're getting, but you're not questioning it, like why is someone doing that? And why does he tell me to do this and that? If you're not questioning this, it's not going to be helpful. So it like even passive courses, watching streamers, watching whatever, it won't help you if you don't do your homework afterwards. So then you can just watch Friends. It's like more of an entertainment factor than an actual study factor. So the
Yeah,
same goes for courses. So I think like if you buy a course, it's I don't know $300 or something. You think, all right, I bought it, so now I'm gonna watch it and then I'm gonna be a better player. No, you have to like put in the work still after watching it.
yeah, interesting. So
So I think you get quicker and usually actually cheaper results by doing a coaching session with someone because then you're actively playing and then you're getting reviewed and you are like in an active discussion with your coach.
yeah,
So I personally like I've gotten coaching for PLO, I've gotten coaching for No Limit Hold'em, and it felt like it was always like I stepped up my game every single session.
yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. So what in terms of coaching, because I think a lot of the people who I'm sure listen to this are playing like micro stakes and lower stakes in general. So if they're gonna spend the money to get coaching, because it's not super cheap to get coaching, you're
Yeah.
saying that you think that you get a lot of value, or you, as long as I think you find the right coach, obviously, but
Yeah.
you think that if you can get a lot of value kind of in a short time compared with what you're going to get out of a course or something like that, unless of
Yeah.
course, and I think this is true, that the average person is probably not um, taking the course content and then going above and beyond and doing the extra study and asking those questions afterwards, which is part of the reason. Like the one-on-one kind of coaching session, that the thing that is great and also terrifying about them is that like you just have to be accountable. Like, and
Yeah.
I know certainly the coach that I'm working with that at the moment is kind of just like got no, like it has a real no bullshit mentality. It's like, this is how it is, like this is what you need to do. If you don't want to do it, that's fine, but like don't waste my time then, kind of thing.
Yeah.
which which
Yeah.
holds you accountable, and for someone like me, I know that that's really important, so that can be another
Yeah.
benefit. as well.
Yeah, I think like getting coaching, the time factor is super important because I always suggest if you're starting out at NL2, do a session with someone who's way better than you because you're just gonna learn so much like more quickly and you're gonna waste less time. So if you just do it by playing by yourself, studying by yourself, you're going to play, let's say, 50,000 hands until you get the basics down. You can learn all of the stuff by yourself. Like, you don't need a coach, but it's going to take you so much more time. And if someone is playing, I don't know, you have played 10,000 hands and you get a coach, they're going to get you to that next level in like 2, 3 sessions. So you can be a way better player after 20,000 hands with a coach than after 50,000 hands by yourself.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I think it also depends on your situation. Like, you know, if you are playing poker either recreationally and want to get better and you've got another job, then it's just like,
Yeah.
you know, spending your money on something that you want to spend your money on. Like if the money is like not that concerning. Whereas if you're trying to make poker your career, um, obviously you need to like there's other considerations about like how
Yeah.
what percentage of your bankroll do you spend on
Yeah.
coaching? Like, are you reinvesting your bankroll in making yourself better, as opposed to
Yeah.
moving up stake? There's obviously a lot of other considerations.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. That makes total sense. But like, for example, I used to play a lot of chess back in the day. And I had never like an ambition to play it on a competitive level at some sorts, but I still wanted to improve my game because it's just more fun if you're good at something. Like lots of people don't know, play sports, go to the gym, play music, whatever. Like it's always more fun when you're improving. And I think that's the same with poker. Like poker is way more
yes.
fun if you have some form of success.
Absolutely. And if you can notice the difference, like it's like every time I finish a coaching session, I always go and play afterwards because I'm like, I want to see if I like learned something. But
Yeah,
obviously, it's not as
yeah,
simple as doing that. But I think what's more interesting is if you can see the progression over a long period of time. Like if poker we know is a game of ups and downs and swings. But the question is, is the graph going up over the long term?
yeah, yeah.
That's kind of the important thing. And the last thing
Probably.
I guess I'll say on coaching, I know we are like already running over the time that we said we were gonna a lot. So we'll wrap it up pretty quickly. But I think it's really important to find a coach that suits your style, and suits what you actually are looking for. Like if you're looking for someone who's gonna like hold you responsible, then maybe like a hard ass coach is for you. If you're looking for
Mm,
someone that you can like really relate with, that you can have a bit more of like a social connection with, then maybe you want someone who's like a bit more kind of relaxed. It
yeah,
depends on the
yeah,
way that you learn as well.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's something that's really important. So it's worthwhile having like a trial session or something like that. Um,
For sure. Yeah, yeah. I usually like after my sessions, I usually answer questions after on Discord, and people like I always kind of apologize to them because I'm usually very straightforward and strict because I think like it doesn't make sense to sugarcoat your mistakes. Like if I see a horrible play, I'm gonna call you out on it because I think like in the long term, it's like when I think back of like school or university, the best teachers were always the ones who were honest with you. You know,
True.
don't coddle me. Like give me the truth.
So if you guys are playing microstakes and you're looking for a drill sergeant, and you love beers, then yeah, go see Paul.
I'm not gonna be drinking during the coaching sessions though.
Not always, not always. As long as it's before 11 a.m. because that's when Paul likes to get started. Uh,
True, true.
cool. So let's
So
finish the episode off with our hand challenge.
Yeah. So my challenge from last episode was to play the Jack 10 suited in early position and win a pot, and this is how it went. This is the challenge hand for the podcast. Jack 10 suited in early position, so we're gonna go crazy with this one. We have to win it for the podcast challenge to succeed. This doesn't look too bad, does it? Size up a little here. Take it down. That was too easy. So I finished I succeeded in the challenge. How about you, Simon?
Yeah. How about me? Well, to be fair, like on every single session, I bloody forgot what my challenge was, and then I think I remember that it was like Queen Eight suited in the blinds, and then I was like, wait, is it the small blind, the big blind? And I sort of tried it. I just got confused, and I'm just sugarcoating it. I failed. I didn't do it.
No. All right. So we have to think of a punishment for you for your upcoming streams then. And I
Oh
think
no.
I have a really funny one. You ready?
Not really, but yeah, go.
So for the next streams until we record the next episode of the podcast, at some point you have to actively mention and defend that Phil Hellmuth is your favorite
Oh
poker
no.
player. And you have to come up with reasons for that. We want to see it on the podcast next time.
Oh my god, that's gonna be tough. I like actively think he's such a douchebag.
Yeah,
He's
you have to come up with reasons why he is the best.
he is the poker brat. I mean, well, yeah. Anyways, I'm not gonna enjoy that, but yeah, I'm gonna channel my inner poker brat, and I'm gonna do that. So
Looking forward to seeing that.
God, maybe I'll make an epic brand entrance to one of my streams, like he does in his honor. You know how he like always does the epic entrances to the World Series of Poker,
Yeah,
except like
yeah,
I feel like he
yeah.
hasn't made a deep run in like over a decade. Like it's like, dude, you haven't got it anymore.
Didn't he win a bracelet last year? I think he
Oh,
won a bracelet.
oh, okay.
I'm
Probably
not
play
sure. I'm not
maybe
sure.
playing
Yeah.
some random card format.
No,
Nah,
I think like all of his bracelets are in No Limit Hold'em though. I think that was always his thing. Like he was always saying like he's the best No Limit Hold'em
I
player to ever
know,
do it.
just insane. So
Well,
just to recap, what are our challenges for this week? So I've got that punishment. I'll do that, and then I'm gonna do
yeah,
pocket fours. I'm gonna do
pocket
the
fours.
fake aces for the fake beer.
Exactly. And I'm going to be playing from any position, right? We didn't say what position we have to play it in. So you're going to do pocket fours. I'm going to do pocket nines. Ah, that's an easy one. But you have to win the pot. You
You have
have
to
to win the
win the
pot.
pot.
Of course.
Oh, jeez. Okay. I'm feeling an all in. I'm feeling an all in free type maneuver.
Yeah, that's what you should do. Four bet pocket fours.
That's got a nice ring to it.
Nice. So, yeah, let's wrap it up. This has been the third episode of Punts and Pints with Paul Punts and my main man, Simon Stacks. Cheers to you, buddy.
Cheers to you. Still looking for our official beer sponsor. So any beer companies out there want to send us some beers, feel free to do
That one
so.
looks so crisp, man. It looks so good.
I know, I know.
Like
I'll slide into their DMs.
the design is impeccable. It's really good.
It's tasty stuff.
All right, guys. So, see you on the next one. Simon, you have the final words.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't prepared for that, but yeah, thanks guys for tuning in, and can't wait to drink some more beers and play some fake aces. Catch you on the next one.
Bye.
See ya. How's the balloons at the end?